What's up, Dragon Nation? I'm Rich with Dragon Nation Gaming. Welcome back to Stationeers. This episode, we're in creative for a little bit. I need to set up an HVAC system, some heating and cooling inside of our base, so that way we could go ahead and start growing plants here pretty soon. There's a couple of different methods that you could use to cool your base, but I only got two of them set up. We need to go ahead and set one up ourselves. But let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so I have two different scenarios set up for cooling your base. Two of them will not work. This one right here does actually work. As you can see, the temperature is negative 188 degrees Celsius. Now, this is the most commonly used method of cooling down your base, but it's also the cheaty way of cooling down your base. Basically what it is we have a 1x2 room that is closed off, and an active vent which pulls out all the gases from inside of that room, creating a vacuum. Then if you put your radiators inside of that room, in the game, it will cool down your base. It will cool down the gases inside of the pipes. But in real life, that does not actually work that way. Just like a vacuum, just like in real life, sound waves do not travel in a vacuum. The same thing goes with thermal energy. Heat and cold will not transfer inside of a vacuum. So right now, those radiators, if this was real life, those radiators would be doing absolutely nothing. Mostly because there's nothing for the heat to transfer to. And that's pretty much how radiators work. So you have gases which are going through the pipes, which are at a certain temperature. If you're trying to cool them down, the heat will actually transfer to those radiators, but once inside of a vacuum, there is nowhere for that heat to go. So yeah, it's worthless. It wouldn't actually work in real life. Now, I did have someone argue with me in the comments about, well, the ISS, the International Space Station, has radiators, so they must work in a vacuum. No, because space, even though people like to think that space is a vacuum, space is not a vacuum. Space still has gases and it still has trace elements which allow for the transfer of thermal energy. I could go all day about how this would not work in real life, but go look up the information yourself. Now, if you don't mind cheating just a little bit, you could go ahead and use this method. It is very simple. Basically, all we have is we have our gases which are connected to those pipes, which are connected to our wall coolers. Now, we could use an AC unit, but AC units draw a lot of power. So we're only going to be using wall coolers for right now. So this method I will not be using because it's cheaty. So I'm going to try to figure out a legitimate way of cooling down our base. Now, another method you could use is pretty much the same thing, but you put the radiators on the outside, which would be more realistic. Which means the atmosphere of Mars is cooling down the gases inside of that pipe, which wouldn't do very well. As you can see, the external temperature right now on Mars is 11 degrees Celsius, which means those pipes are going to start warming up as the sun comes up, and at night they'll start to cool down. Right now it's negative 17.8 degrees Celsius because the sun has just come up. It takes a little bit of time for those gases to cool. And there lies the issue. So at night, I really am not going to need any air conditioning because the base is not going to heat up enough to really need air conditioning. I need air conditioning during the day, which means I won't be able to use this because the radiators are going to heat up the gases inside the pipe from the sun. So this will actually get up to about, I think I saw it get up to like 25, 30 degrees Celsius, which is way too warm, which means this method would not work in the daytime. So when the sun actually gets about midday, this will already be at 20 degrees. It goes pretty quick. So what I need to do is I need a system where I can separate cool gases from hot gases and store the cool gases. So this is the system that we have set up so far. Just this setup right here. We have our gases which go through the pipes, which get cooled down by the radiators or heated up from the radiators. Then it just connects to the wall coolers. But what I need is I only need the cold gases going to the wall coolers. So over here I already have it set up, but what I need to do is I need to separate them. Let me go in and grab my tools real quick. So right now I am in the creative world where I've been experimenting with a bunch of different things, seeing what I could get to work and what I can't get to work. And I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing a lot of work. All right, let's go ahead and grab our wrench. We'll get rid of these pipes right here. And then I'll just go ahead and do straight pipe, closing this off. So what's going on is the gases that are trying to cool down, I need to keep them separate. So that way when we get hot gases, we send them out to the radiator at night to cool down. It's not getting to the wall cooler, so we can cool down any time of the day. Let's go and drop these real quick. I need to grab these radiators, get them out of the way. All right, let me go ahead and close this entire system off. So now what we have is we have two pipelines. So let's rotate that. Oh, I need more pipe. Luckily, we're in creative, so I can just do this real quick. When we're done with this, I have to go back into survival and put this in. Now, the reason we're doing a 1x2 room is because that's where I want to place it inside of our base. There's a little area in our mechanical room which gives us enough room to go ahead and do this and also try to set up a filtration system. So this is what I'm trying to do, trying to get everything to fit in this little area. Alright, now what we need is we need the gases to cool down. So we're going to grab, let me go ahead and drop the pipes. We're going to need a connector. Doesn't matter which one. Let's go ahead and use insulated. I haven't used those at all yet. Alright, so I think what I need this to go to the back wall because I need to leave a little bit of room to try to set up a filtration system. So I think like that. Now what I need to do is I need to connect that to these pipes, but I can't do it where there's a radiator. And since I'm also trying to save room for the filtration system, I'm thinking maybe I should start putting stuff on the ceiling. Let's actually try that. Let's see how that works out. So we'll go elbow, go up to the top. And just like that. So what I can do, let's see if this is going to work out. I'm going to bring this straight over to the wall coolers because hopefully if we do this correctly, all we're going to have in that storage container or in the tank that we have to put right here is cold gases. Now what I need, actually let's put you right here, I might need more. Let's go ahead and, well, what we're using right now in our base, I think someone said the best gas you could use for coolant would be pollutant, but we're not going to use pollutant. I'm going to use CO2 because the way we have it set up inside of the base is we have our gases which go along that wall right there. Our CO2 is actually right here, the carbon dioxide. So I could just bring piping over to here to fill up the tank right here. But since we're in creative, we could actually do that right now. Let's go ahead and try carbon. There it is, carbon dioxide, and that should be a full container. Let's go ahead and get it connected. Are you full? Yes, it is. It does actually have pressure. Right now it's filling up the pipes there. Now what I need to do is we need to figure out a cycling system. So what I need to do is at night, I need the gases from this pipe to go into the pipes with the radiators. And then during the day, Or when it starts to warm up and the sun's starting to come up, we'll have the gases be pulled back out into the storage and that pipe right there. Now, I'm kind of wondering if this is going to work. All right, let's try a volume pump. So there we go. Grab the volume pump. So what I need, we need to try to save room. Let me see where I can put this. I need to rotate it. I need it facing that way to go to that corner right there. That's really the only place I can connect it that is not connected to radiators. So I need you point down and over to... I also need to watch out where the electrical connections are. Oh, this is going to be tight. I think I can do it though. I think it'll work. We'll put you right there. Alright. Yeah, even in creative, you still get hungry. Alright, so I need to connect you to the corner. Just like that. Alright, so that one right there is going to pull the gases out into the pipes with radiators, so we can go ahead and start cooling stuff down. Now what I need is I have to connect to this corner, but I don't want a lot of space for piping, so I need to make them kind of close together. And this is going to pull the gases back into the storage. So you grab our pipe. Looks like I need a T section. And then we'll see if we can connect our power. So, elbow. There we go. Alright, now I need to connect that. Oh, I need more pipe. We need to connect that all the way back to the other corner because that's the only place I have to connect it. So, there we go. Alright, rotate. And I need to connect it right here. So what I think needs to happen. See, the thing is, what I could do is I could set up a logic system which when it cools down because it's starting to get night, that pump could turn on to pull the gases into the radiator. And then when the sun starts to come up, turns that volume pump off, turns this one on, so that way the gases in the radiators will pull into the tank and hopefully stay cool. But the problem with that, that pump will actually pull all the gases out into that piping, which means there won't be any gases in this pipe that goes to the wall coolers. So what I think I need to do, that might work. If we leave this pump on at all times and only turn that pump on during the turn that pump on when the sun starts to go down and then turn it back off when the sun starts to come up, that pump is always cycling gases, which means there's always gases in that pipe, and the gases will still cool because we'll still have pressure in that pipe. Right? Right. I think that'll work. All right, next I need to see, we should have hopefully enough room for power. If I stick it close to the, come on, rotate the right way, there you go. I can't see a damn thing. All right, we'll get it. All right, now I need an elbow going this way. Then I need to connect that one. And we'll bring this all the way out here and then connect it to the cabling down there. So elbow like that. And there we go. No power. Oh yeah, that's right. Just temporarily, just for this creative purposes, we're going to use an RTG, which I don't think is actually in the survival game, which does kind of suck. It would be cool if we had these. I mean, it is a real tool that astronauts going to Mars would have to use, so it does kind of suck that we don't have one. All right, let's rotate you this way. All right, now we should have power. Yes, we do. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to regulate the temperature and the pressures inside of that pipe and hook it up to a console at some point. So what I need is a pipe analyzer. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Probably won't hook this up to logic. We'll just use probably a sensor would probably be best. Let's actually put you this way. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's turn it on. All right, I need cable. Probably need a little bit more cable. So yeah, this is going to make the logic system a whole lot easier because now I only have to set up one compare instead of two for the different pipes. All right, cable. F9. Here we go. All right, where did I put? I think it just came to like right here. So yeah. And then we'll connect it this way. All right, so right now, this pipe will be, yeah, this is the right place to put the analyzer because now I can see what the temperature is inside of that container. Which it's at, well, 293 Kelvin. I'm not exactly sure what that is in Celsius, but it's kind of close. I think we'll be fine. All right, so what I need to do is I need to go ahead and grab some walls. We need to close that off. Just so I can put up some supports for a console like I did over here. So yeah, as you can see, the temperature inside this one is already at 7.6 degrees Celsius. Maybe it might not get too much warmer. And this one over here, the cheating method, is negative 189 degrees Celsius. I think that will keep going infinitely. But now I need a console over here so that way we can go ahead and read the temperature in that pipe analyzer. Let me go ahead and do that on my own real quick. Try to save a little bit of time. Alright, so it looks like the temperature inside those pipes right now is 20 degrees Celsius. So what we need to set up is we need to set up a logic system which will turn this pump on whenever the outside temperature gets below, well, right now the external temperature is 2 degrees Celsius. I think if we set it up for 0 degrees, which I think is 273 degrees Kelvin, I think that should actually work. So right about, I'm waiting. We'll get there. No worries. There it is. All right, so that would make this pump turn on, which will send the gases through the radiator system. Now the question is that going to be enough gas for all that piping? Might have to add a little bit more gas. Let me actually see what the pressure is right now. Yeah, it's only 1 megapascal. I think we're going to need more. But yeah, what I need to do is I need to set up a logic system for that pump right there to turn it on when it needs to be turned on, turn it off when it needs to be turned off. We're going to be doing that by the external temperature outside of the base. So what I need to do, oh shit, this jetpack is, I've never actually used this jetpack. We need to go ahead and set up a sensor, gas sensor, which will read the outside temperature. I need to connect that to power. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and name it. So do I have, oh yeah, I put it down here. I think we'll go ahead and name that gas sensor thermal. So everything, all the logic, we'll go ahead and say thermal. So that way I can keep track of what we're using and what we're not. Alright, so already the gases are starting to cool down because it is going through the radiators, which are dissipating that heat. And it looks like it's actually working. So I was kind of worried that this cycling system would not work. We have gases which are going in the radiator and then the gases going back into storage. So yeah, I was kind of worried that the game mechanics wouldn't allow that to work, but it looks like it is. Alright, now what I need to do is I need to set up the logic system. So what we're going to need is we need to be able to read the information from that sensor. So we need a logic reader. Then we're going to have to compare temperatures. There is also something else that I did learn about logic, but we'll get that in here. We'll get to that here in a second. All right, logic compare. All right, now I need to set the numbers, so we're going to need logic memory. So I need to leave space for cable. Then a logic IO, so that way we can set up a... we're only writing to one pump, so we only need a logic writer. All right, now the fun part, getting everything connected to cabling, and then get them named real quick. All right, so one thing I did learn about logic, whenever you try to set up a logic writer, there's only a few different selections you can make. I don't think I'd be able to see it now. Let's see. So, nope, we'll have to get this set up, and then I'll show it afterwards. All right, so what we need to do is we need to read the information from that sensor. So we need to find the sensor thermal. I think it's what I named it, gas sensor thermal. That's going to read the temperature. Let's turn that on. It's going to read the temperature outside of the base. So that will kind of let us know when the sun is down and when the sun is up. All right, so we're going to go with the information. Actually, let's change this real quick. I need the labeler. I think it's 273 Kelvin is 0 degrees Celsius, I think. I won't be able to tell right now anyways. Well, right now the temperature is 274, which is negative, oh, maybe not. There's 273 Kelvin. Oh, no, I'm reading the outside. My bad. Right now, we're at 207 Kelvin. Okay, there we go. So negative 66 degrees Celsius is 206 Kelvin. So I think it's 273. I'd have to Google it just to make sure, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so let's see. We need to read the information from the logic reader. And the information from the logic memory. There we go. And then we need to set this up. I need to set this up to turn that pump on, because with the logic writer, you can't set it up to turn that pump off. So what I want to do is I want that pump to turn on when it's below 0. So when the number from the logic reader is less than the number from the logic memory. So less. There we go. All right, this is what I wanted to show you. So we're getting the information from the logic compare. That's going out to... Oh, I didn't name it. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't name it. Okay, Control V. There we go. That's going to go out to the pump. Volume pump, thermal. And as you can see, the out variable, there's only a few different selections. You have lock, setting, and on. That's it. So we need, whenever we're using a logic writer or a batch writer, we have to set it up so that way it turns that item on, because we can't do it on the off position. So I think we're good. So that pump should turn off if I have everything on. The pump should turn off whenever the temperature gets 0 degrees outside or above. I might need to actually change that. Because here's the thing I want to happen. As soon as that sun comes up, it's going to start heating up the gases that are connected to the pipe, which is connected to the radiator. Now, I want those gases out of that pipe before the sun comes up. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do, instead of 273, let's do 260. I'll Google this and find exactly what the temperature is, but I think the best thing to do is wait until it's negative 10 degrees Celsius or somewhere around there. But yeah, I'll Google it and try to get the accurate the accurate number. But I think 260 for right now should be good enough. All right, so that's pretty much what we have to set up, and the temperature inside of that pipe is already at negative 11 degrees Celsius. So yeah, as long as we keep the cool air away from those radiators, and keep it stored during the day and then let it back into the radiators at night, that should keep those gases cool, which we need for the wall coolers. I guess I should go into more detail about those, but see, the way an air conditioner works, or a wall cooler and an air conditioner work, is it takes the outside air, pumps it through a pressure regulator kind of thing, and then you have a coolant which cools that air down and then pumps it back out. So all you're doing is cycling the air, which is being cooled down by, in real life, kind of like a radiator. Now, the thing is, a AC unit in real life would be using Freon. But unfortunately, we don't have Freon in the game. It would actually require gases that we do not have. But I think this system will actually work. It looks like it's working pretty good. So what we need to do is we need to wait until daylight for that pump to start turning off. Or wait until... I probably need to set up a console. Yeah, let me go ahead and get a console set up with that reading the information or the temperature from that sensor. So that way we can tell when that pump is actually going to shut off. Alright, we're at 259 Kelvin. We're about there. That pump should be turning off. There it goes. That's negative 12.5 degrees Celsius, which is okay. The sun is about to come up. But now that should give us enough time to go ahead and pump all the gases out of those pipes and into the storage. Right now, the pipes that are going to the wall cooler is at negative 23 degrees Celsius. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and close off this room. Now this is where a vacuum would come in handy. As I was explaining in this one, a vacuum does not allow for the transfer of thermal energy, which means anything inside of that room right there will stay at the same temperature, the exact same temperature that it's at. It will not get colder, it will not get warmer. As long as it's not touching the floor, not touching the ceiling, or touching the walls. Because the thermal energy, even though it can't transfer in the vacuum, we still have walls and everything which surround the vacuum. So if an item does touch the floor, it will be able to pass that thermal energy through to the wall, heating or cooling that item down. So that's where a vacuum would come in handy, but because of the mechanics in the game, it would still be cheaty because it would cool down everything a lot more. So I don't think I'm going to use that. What we'll do is we'll just leave that room pressurized. It shouldn't really heat it up too much. I'm kind of debating if I should put some wall coolers inside of that room as well to keep it cold. Set up kind of refrigerated room. That might be a good idea. But I'll have to see if that's really even necessary. After I close the room off, I'll go ahead and let the day cycle run a couple of times. Give it like 2 or 3 days and see if it still holds the temperature. So the pipes, let me actually grab my PDA real quick. Nope. Still taking too long. It still has 2.4 kilopat. No, that's the world, not the pipe. I need the pipe. There it is. All right, 198, 88 pascals. So it's almost empty. So hopefully if we do close off this room and there's not a whole lot of temperature, that temperature right there will not change too much. It'll stay below 0 degrees Celsius inside of that tank and inside of that pipe which feeds the gases to, or our coolant, we'll just call it the coolant, to our wall coolers. Then what I need to do is I need to set up a logic system to tell those wall coolers to turn on when it needs to turn on. But yeah, I think that system is actually going to work out because it doesn't look like they're getting any hotter. Yeah, the gases are staying cool. All right, so that should work. So what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and get this set up in survival. It shouldn't be too difficult. It should only take me a little bit of time. I should have all the resources and everything I need to build it. But yeah, I think next episode what we'll do is we have some logic to build. So I need to set up some compare logic for the wall coolers and also the wall heaters as well. Then we need to go ahead and for my drain system, the water drain system, I don't have that set up on an automated system. So I need to do that. So I think in next episode, we'll go ahead and do some logic. We'll do a little bit of maintenance. Try to get everything set up for grow beds so we can go ahead and get ourselves some plants. But yeah, we'll talk about that next episode. Until then, make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
We try to find our ways in life to give our hearts and soul a peace of mind. But you just wanna